Downloading music. Hey, we know it happens. Lots of people do it. But what are the downsides of that? Well, that brings us to this week's case. We previously have talked about cases in which people have been sued by recording companies, and the recording companies, have gotten big verdicts. And those big verdicts many times have been reduced by the trial court judges, but they still wind up with a lot of money being adjudged against the person who did the downloading. Well, what really happens to these cases? Brings us to a recent case, a fella named Joel Tannenbaum. Joel is a graduate student at Boston University up in Boston. Well, Joel downloaded 30 songs illegally. He was sued by the recording companies. The recording companies were able to get a judgment against him in the amount of $675,000. $675,000. Well, at that point in time, his attorney said to the trial court judge, this is an outrageous amount of money and I think it has to be reduced. The trial court judge, a federal judge, did reduced it to $67,500. She did so saying that there was a denial of due process. Well, the recording companies, wanting to make a point about this, appealed it, went up to the First Circuit Court of Appeals. And there, the First Circuit Court of Appeals reinstated the original judgment, $675,000. Well, this will probably be the end of the case. We'll see where it goes. It could additionally be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, but it's unlikely the Supreme Court, will take cert, will actually hear the case. What's going to happen to Joel? What's going to happen to Joel? Well, what he has said is that he will file bankruptcy if the verdict is upheld. He said he took some solace by virtue of the fact, he said, you know, they could have had whole bunches of millions of dollars. At least the jury didn't buy the whole story from the recording company, and he took some solace on that, but still $675,000, a lot of money. Said he's going to declare bankruptcy. Well, the fellow's starting out in life, graduate student. He's going to go on, hope to get some gainful employment, and it's a really sad mark on your record, on your life record, so to speak, if you start out having declared bankruptcy early on. Why is this happening? The recording companies know, here's a graduate student, he doesn't have the money. All they're doing is forcing him into bankruptcy. Why do they do this? They do this, obviously, so that people won't download music. Are they suing everyone that downloads music? No, they can't do that because they just don't have enough resources, enough lawyers to do that. But they're suing a number of people. And what they're trying to say, loud and clear, is if you download music, you're undertaking a risk. And the risk is that you will be sued and that a big verdict is going to be imposed against you, and at the end of the day, you may wind up in bankruptcy. Well, this is not necessarily good news, but it's news we bring you as we bring you news every week as to how the law works, so that you understand your rights, your obligations, and you can make the law work for you. I'm David Allen.